Hi guys, so I've been rambling. Needed to get out today. I think it's really beginning to get to everybody. So I am in a clearing in on the way to Stokenchurch in High Wycombe, so between West Wycombe and Stokenchurch. And it just got a little bit tense in the house today, just my mum and I, but she kept changing the channels and I don't deal with change, so even if it's just the channels, bless her. But I think we're all going a bit stir crazy, so sometimes it's really good to give each other a little bit of space and a little bit of time. And on that note, actually, I've been particularly missing some people, and on my trek today, I have actually invited a guest. So would you like to come into shot while keeping 2 minutes just thinking? If you come into shot just there, thank you very much.
Hi guys! We're obviously sticking to government guidelines here, but Sadi's my trekking partner.
Yes.
I've missed her so much, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop doing our treks. It's
No.
a beautiful day. We live in the Chilterns. It's about making the most of it, and now with Ramadan days away, we're going to be lockdown upon lockdown, because obviously energy levels. However, it's up to you. You can actually do your exercises in Ramadan as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it won't stop you. But I think sometimes, it depends on what you want to do during the day. But anyhow, we're 2 meters apart.
We are. And then Selma, I'm going to ask you, do you have any advice for people that are living in a family system where there's more than a couple of you?
Yeah, absolutely, because I'm in that scenario at the moment. And what I tend to do is not be in each other's faces all the time. So if you want to have a bit of me time in the house, dedicate a part of the house where you want to do it. Doesn't mean you have to constantly interact with the members of your family. It's about giving them the space to reach out to you and you reaching out to them. So what I've found is in the last week now, things are becoming intense. Like there's mood swings. There's parts of the personality that you never thought you'll see, right?
Yeah.
And there's you're waking up in the morning, whereas a couple of weeks ago it was like, oh, morning, and now it's like they'll look at you and just carry on doing what they're doing.
So what about the anxieties? Obviously this is a really anxious time.
Yeah.
And I think even those of us who are coming across relatively okay with everything that's happening are feeling the anxiety of the situation. How have you been managing that?
In all honesty, with the anxiety, it's the uncertainty, isn't it? And not knowing what the future holds in this country. But I think, look, I see it like this: we're all in the same boat. We're all going through the tide. We're not all in a different situation. So I think it's just having that hope that things will get better and remaining positive. We can all be negative. We can all sit down and say, oh God, what's going on? Looking at the news, looking at the media. But I think mentally, it's about keeping that positivity. And keeping yourself busy, and as much of it it's like, oh, we're in isolation, stay home. Yeah. It's about doing your activities and getting busy with things that you're not doing, like reading
What
a
about
book.
those people whose mind isn't allowing them to? So obviously some people at different times in our lives mentally we do face different afflictions.
Yeah.
So what about those people who are really struggling with finding that positive headspace? We've just got a farm vehicle going past. Yep. So that happens. I love the fact that we get farm vehicles. So what advice would you give to those people that are 2 meters apart, please?
Oh, sorry. I want them to see me.
Come this way slightly. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. So what would you? Actually, I should explain. My arm was hurting. We tried this earlier, but my arm was really hurting. So I had to actually find a spot where I could put my phone down without my arm hurting, basically. So yeah. So what advice would you give to those people who actually they are struggling because mentally, emotionally, maybe they're not at their strongest right now?
I think that's a difficult one. We've not been in this situation before.
Yeah, I'm listening.
And I don't think anyone ever thought we would be in this situation.
No. And one would say it's unprecedented.
Exactly, and we've had the Queen come out and do a speech. Everyone's been saying, oh, she's come out for after however many years. She did one in the war time. So
and one when I think Diana passed away.
Yeah. So we can listen to the media and take on all the negativity. I think, look, at this moment in time, in terms of, I think if you're if you're following a certain faith, try and get closer into your faith, do your meditation, do your supplications, and reaching out to God, you know, because I think this is a good time.
And I think even if you don't have a faith,
Yeah.
you can meditate and spiritually reach out to the energy.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to call, if you don't want to say God or anything else, you can still reach out to energy. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So in terms of sort of like now, it's still uncertain, isn't it, in terms of how far, how long this is going to go, and the different sort of waves of freedom, so to speak, that we're going to be seeing. What are you most looking forward to when you can actually just go back to life as we knew it, or some sort of a semblance of life as we knew it?
I think, you know, in this process, I've personally got to appreciate the small things that we used to do. You know, just being able to meet my friends.
Yeah.
Simple as that, or like, you know, even going to the shops without having this, you know, guideline in place. Just simple little things like that. And I think just coming back to your previous question, with people who are dealing with it in a really negative way, and I think this is an opportunity for us to reach out to people that we may not have been able to reach out before. Like, you know, there's WhatsApp groups going, like for me, on the road that I'm living in, you know, we had a letter come through saying, you know, let's create a WhatsApp group. I think it's called Corona Club, actually. It's called
Not the club most of us want to be in, but okay.
It's called Corona Club, and it's great because we've been able to interact with our neighbours who've not ever been to them, we've been introduced to. So it's been a good way of.
So I suppose you're saying is during this time, think outside the box and maybe do some of the stuff that you previously didn't have time for,
Exactly.
or wouldn't have even thought to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think also I like the idea of looking forward. I like the idea that, you know, if we are struggling, that we can maybe focus on some of the stuff we'd like to do, or just, you know, and it's also, I think it's also important to actually appreciate that sometimes you're going to have good days and bad days, and it's okay to have your days where you just don't do anything, where you don't think positive, where you don't think in any other way other than where you're just at in that time. But I think it's nice to actually look forward as well, and just because me and you keep saying the first thing we're going to do is go to Turkey.
Yeah.
But I mean, it catches you in different. I know with me the other day. So Salma isn't just my friend. I think our families are very, very close friends. So we're more like family. And the other day I was hoovering, and because you still have to hoover, right? Apparently, it would have been quite kind if at least they'd taken care of the housework. But never mind. But yeah, so you have to still hoover, was my point. But the point was
I'm happy
that
to know that, Sonny. You keep yourself clean.
and the house. But yeah, so I was hoovering, and I don't know why, it just really hit me that Salma and her mum hadn't sat on the sofas for ages. That sounds absolutely bizarre, but I just looked at the sofas and I thought, Auntie would usually be here by now. I haven't seen Auntie for ages. And there's going to be moments, especially now we're what, 5? I mean, for me, I think I'm 6 weeks in because I got sick. So it's, yeah, so I think it's going to start hitting people in different ways. And those that first couldn't empathise with people that were struggling will begin to start empathising. So that's, I think, a good thing. But what else do you think, if you were going to give one piece of advice to everybody that's watching, like all 5 of them?
Or many others.
What would you give them?
Right now?
Yeah.
One advice I would say is, look, when we come out of this situation,
Yeah.
we're going to look back at this situation as well, and we're going to think, oh, we had all this time. Now, time is of the essence, and sometimes we, you know that concept of let's kill time, and I think a lot of people think in this situation they'll kill the time in the sense they'll just
A bit nervous about the way you're saying kill and we're in the middle of the woods.
well look what. But what I'm trying to say is utilize the time that you have. Put a plan in place, put a schedule in place, and just, you know, maybe do things that you weren't doing before. Put something in place and bounce off other people's ideas. There's a lot going on social media. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is a really good time to actually really think about what makes you feel good. Sometimes when you've got more time to actually connect in with yourself, I mean your true self, you also realise what are the things that I like and actually make me feel good. And that could be everything from food to people, to activities, to locations. Maybe make a list. If there's nothing else that you feel like doing right now, then maybe focus in on the positive things that you really enjoy doing and you really like doing, and make a list of those things. So at least you have your toolkit for survival in any situation.
And I would say contact Sadi or myself and come here to the woods like we've just done. It's great.
Yeah, come and join us.
It's great.
2 meters apart. It'll be a long line, but it'll be fantastic. Well, actually,
we've got to go now, Sadi.
we do have to go. We still got to walk over 2 miles.
Yeah.
Bye.